think we're good. One thing with this little app that I use is knowing that it is or isn't using my um, Bluetooth earphone, but yeah, it looks like it should be. Okay. So I'm also trying to cover this phone up this time so it doesn't get too overheated as we go, and hopefully won't cover up. I think we're seeing everything okay. So the bees are obviously active. You can see the mirror perspective, the bees on your left are out there. So as I had said last time, I've said every time, these are mostly for my benefit. This is how I go back and see what was going on with my bees when I can't remember, because things happen very quickly in the spring as they're building up. And so, right before I left for my travel, both hives are doing very well, lots of brood, but I decided not to put another super on. I'm not sure if that's the right choice or not, because in these, even though it was cold when I was gone, it's gotten very hot. And so here's the interesting thing with this one over here on the right for you. This kind of wooden box on top that's not painted has a little window on the side. That's why I bought it, so I could show the kids. And man, the bees are just look like they're very much in this top um, super. And so the goal this time is I'm going to get rid of these boxes on top and these feeders. Remember, I'd put these on with water. They are just, yeah, they're just spilling out of these holes. So we're going to see what's going on. I have a whole bunch of boxes back here to put on, supers to put on. That's really interesting what they do. Like I had put um, a little bit of screen in the empty hole. They've already put wax and everything around it, so it's actually kind of sealed in there. Good or bad, it is what it is. And notice I'm not really smoking. You know, it's warm out. It's not. It's. I mean, it's hot, but I'm just knocking those bees off. I will put some smoke in here in a second. And they have glued this thing on pretty well. It's really sticky. So I'll throw some smoke in here and see what we can do. So, of course, my desire is I want healthy bees. I'm trying to prevent them from splitting, which I've talked about previously. Splitting is when the queen in the hive decides that they need more space, and so they split. And that means the hive is healthy generally, and that's great. What's not good about it is I lose bees, and bees make honey and other things. So yeah, they have really glued this thing on. You can see there's all wax that they've been producing on top of this. You can see all the little wax on here. So they've been producing that. It really sticks that down. Over there. So we're going to look through, see what's going on. So last time, remember, there was brood up here. I don't want brood, I want honey. It is spring. There's lots of bees up here. What I want them to do is make honey, but if they don't have the space, they don't make honey. And she's laying more brood. That means um, more bees. And so if they don't have space, that's the cycle that would continue. So the bees live longer than it takes for her to create new bees. And so if she doesn't have space, she'll either stop or they'll get, like I said, they'll decide they're going to go to the next hive. So, all right. So here's the deal. This was brood when we looked at it last time. Most of the brood has hatched. And so what I'm going to look for is, are they putting new eggs in there? And if they are, which I believe they are, they still don't have enough space. And, sorry, sometimes it's really hard to see down to the bottom. But from what I think I can see, there are new eggs down there. So the queen is planning to still use this for brood. I don't want that. I want honey. Same deal. So this has still a lot of brood on it. And what I'm also looking for, besides the queen, for some reason I don't expect her up here, so I'm not really. Yeah, there's a lot of brood still. So this is all closed cell brood. Lots of little bees on here. I don't see a queen. And so it just means that they just don't have space, and or she's not laying down below. There are so many bees in this hive. I mean, this thing is packed. I mean, it's the middle of the day. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's beautiful out. All the bees that would be out foraging are out foraging. Um, and the bees that are here making honey and doing all their other stuff, they're in here. So there's a lot of bees not in this hive because it's the middle of the day. And I'll tell you what, it is still packed. So there's a lot of bees. Now, there's also a lot of honey. You know, even on these, it's just the corners. I'll maybe run over here and show you real quick. A lot of drones. So she's producing a lot of drones. Haven't seen the queen yet. And this is how it frames. This is actually a really good example. I should just put on record and show you. Anyone ever watches. This is how most beehive, like a brood frame, should look. So the middle of the frame, see if I can hold on to this. The middle of the frame is where she lays the eggs. The outer corners and the outside, as you can see, this is all honey. If I turn it this way, you can see how puffed out that honey is from the frame. So they're putting a lot of honey in here. So there is honey to be made in the area, and they are using it. So let's see, 3 frames of brood so far out of 8. That means they are not storing much honey here. Okay, now this one looks like it was brood. Still has some brood on it. This side, I can't tell if there's eggs in there. Oh, there's some eggs in there. Okay, so they are using every available space, which is good. That's healthy. It just means not really any honey. And so that's, but we have so many bees now, there's no reason we should not be working towards honey. So we're trying to stall any splits and provide space. Ooh, this one is heavy. So this one they've converted over to honey. There are no eggs on this. Okay. Yeah, this is honey on both sides. I'm also looking to see if they're producing any queen cells. You know, that they think they're going to split here. So far, I don't see that. This hive is so packed, though, I would not be shocked to find it. And honestly, it would be kind of annoying. But let's hope that so far I haven't seen any. Let's hope that's not the case. Oh, very heavy. So this frame, which I know I showed you last time, is actually almost full. This frame is very heavy. So you can see again, they are capping all of the honey. So the white stuff is just wax over top of the honey. When it's drier like that, it's called dry capping. Exact same thing. It's just with the level of the capping. But this whole frame is honey. So they're still making honey down here, and they'll cover that up soon. So there is definitely a lot of nectar in this area. I have no idea what it is. My guess is mostly wildflower. So since we last looked, they have made a lot of honey. It's been, I think it's been 2 weeks. I think it was Sunday that I looked at it, or Saturday, 2 weeks ago. Same deal. This frame is very heavy. One side is almost fully capped. The other side is not capped at all, but they'll do that soon. So, okay, this is good stuff. They have resources. They just don't have space for brood. So she's using the space I would prefer she use for honey. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a box, and I'm going to put the honey. I never know exactly the best way to do this. I'm going to take like these 2 honey frames, put them in the top box, spread out a little bit. This outside frame is honey as well, would be my guess. So we're going to look real quick. And it is, wow, and it has so many bees on here. It's just crazy how many bees are on here. Like, this is bonkers. I used to think my friends in England would say. It turns out that they claim they don't say it, but I did have a friend in England that used to say, that's bananas. So I feel like there's a lot of bees on here. And so it's interesting, like this one frame fits with the other frame because it had that bulged out honey on the corners, and the frame next to it has no comb in that space. That's just how they work sometimes. It gets really frustrating. Oh yeah, so what I should do is switch these out first. So I'm going to put a box on top when we're all done. I'll do that when yeah, I'll do that when let me do it now. Let me do that now. I think that would be better. So let's do this. And so if I've never said this on recent videos, the smoke, as far as we understand, is really about the bees kind of being ready to um, go get resources. They kind of assume that something bad is about to happen. There's a fire, and they are going to have to leave the hive, and so they go down into the hive to get away from the smoke, but also to okay, I'm second guessing myself again, and why am I doing that? Mostly because these bees will be by themselves back here, so I think what I'll do instead is put this box on here. All right, so I have my lid down here. I'm going to put this box in here. It has a couple empty frames, so I guess I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll also start to build out some comb if I put some frames in here. So I might put that comb into here. I think they're more likely to do it in the brood frames, brood boxes. Right. And then we'll take these two down. It's warm today in the sun. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I'm just kind of getting this ready. The bees will be down here, and then I'll set the box that's up here on top of that. So we're making progress. All right, so now those will be ready. We're back, and then what I'll do is put these back in. This guy back in over here. Now the frames I'm putting in are not they're not clean, so they could easily the bees will just clean that all off. So there's hopefully no like pathogens as it were, but the bees, man, it is so sticky. My hands are getting totally fried, and I can tell that I'm going to get sunburnt here. So I'm going to try and move a little bit more quickly. All right, so that goes back here. And now I just want to quickly try and see what they're doing otherwise. I want to really make sure there's no queen cells. That is my biggest concern. And so a couple of these frames in the middle that have brood, if I lift them up and they have a queen cell on the bottom, then I know that the queen is thinking about leaving. And then I have to make plans. Whether that's today or another time this week, I will work on the split. I might see if friends want it. I'm not sure I want more than 2 hives right now. Just give them my space. All right, so again, this was a lot of brood. It is hatched. I don't really quickly see the queen on this side. Real quick. Scan over here. So I can't quite tell. Man, the sun reflecting off the screen in front of my face can sometimes make it a challenge to see what's going on here. But I don't think I see eggs in here yet. But I don't see queen cells, so that's a good thing. Same deal. Let's put these on real quick. Put this in here. All right, pull 2 or 3 more up. Otherwise, we'll probably let it be. And just give a quick scan on the bottom box. I want to see if she ever went down there to lay brood. Lots of brood. Thankfully, no queen cells yet. And so hopefully, if I can give them just a little bit more space. They did have plenty of water, so that's going to be my next concern. If I take those lids off that have the jars, then I need to make sure they have water. So I've been thinking about that. It's going to be kind of in the 70s all week. It does get chilly at night. And there's a big field behind here, behind the camera. There's no like big water source that I know of. And so I don't know if I'll put a bucket out. Yeah, this is all brood. and still doing the thing. Just, I know I say this over and over again. Just, oh, there's the queen. So she is here. She looks reasonably happy. How do I know that? That's a total joke. I have no idea how she is. I don't even know how she is feeling, so I've got to be really gentle because she's on the back side there. I can't tell that they are. All right. She's just crawling along, doing her thing, so she is doing her job. Okay, so I know where she's at. See if these are brood. So again, the outside edges should be resource, like honey and pollen. And there's no honey in here. There was brood on here. See that? So I'll keep an eye on that. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do there. I do see bees with pollen on their legs. It's warm, so it is all just sticky and gummy. Yeah, this is a lot of honey on this one. It's getting some good weight to it. So producing honey on here. Okay, yeah, I see lots of cells with nectar in them. All right, so doing their job. There is space for them. There's obviously resources for them to be bringing in. Um, so I think I can get by with just a medium super. Well, this is honey as well. Well, it's funny. This side is all brood, but there must be honey on the backside. No, there's not. So interesting. This thing is just packed with brood. So that's going to hatch here really soon. Next one is packed with brood. Yeah, this hive just has so much. Oh. Yeah, brood. And brood. All right, well, guess we'll see what happens here. We'll put this one back together and just quickly go down to the bottom one. I want to see if she went down at all to lay brood. So let's see what happens. I'm not cleaning a whole lot off. Like I feel like right now I'm not having to clean much. I mean, it's very sticky. They have lots of stuff in here. Lots of pollen and propolis and but not a lot on the top. So I'm not, I'm just trying to go quickly. It's warm. I'm getting hot. My face is probably getting sunburned. Didn't think that part through. All right, so we'll squirt some smoke in here, a little bit on top. Oh, on the bottom. These are definitely getting heavy. Like there's nothing to, it just is what it is. Like that's got some weight to it. That's probably at least 25, maybe a little bit more. A little bit of stuff on there. Okay, make this quick. I do see some brood. I hope that she's come down and utilized these two. And then hopefully that will keep her from going up. And when I put this next box on, and they will mostly just do honey up there. That's the ultimate goal. All right, and sure enough, there's brood on here and resource. Are there any new eggs? That is a challenge to see. But, oh, I do. I see some eggs in there. All right, so she is utilizing stuff. So I need to just not be too concerned. Yep, lots of bees on here. So I'm hopeful. So here's the good news. The good news is she, at this point, even though this hive is just packed with bees, I don't see queen cells. And so they are not, at the moment, planning to split. Now, there's a lot of brood in here. And so as this brood hatches, we could be getting into a split situation pretty quickly. Like this whole frame is brood. So, okay. Well, I am satisfied. There's just more and more brood down here. This queen's great. Like she is just laying like a champ. That's great. So we're going to see if we can encourage them to make some more honey. I would love to extract honey in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's possible. They get a lot of good days. They get some rain. We could be doing okay. Oh, so I don't know that you can see back here, but it's hot. They've already come out a little bit. They're kind of coming out over the side of this box I just put back here. So I'm going to smoke them so they go down in, hopefully. The ones that are on the side, If I had my glove on, I'd kind of scoop them in, but I don't, and they're in both hand wells. So now I'll try and take this way and hope I don't hit any others. Come on, out you go. So we gently try and put this on so we don't crush any of them. Square this thing up. Now, I noticed earlier that this bottom box is kind of off kilter on the what we call the screen bottom. So I just want to square that up a little bit more in the back. All right, so that's good. So then we put this one up, and then remember we have a new one, so they're already coming out. Like it's hot, and they. So here's what we're gonna do, because this is in the direct sunlight. I don't always have bees in direct sunlight. The last couple years, I actually had them replaced if they had some shade. This just happens to be where I can easily put these bees on this property that I'm currently using. So what I'll do is, I'll put what we call a telescoping lid on top. That's normally what we put on our hives. Now this is a new box. It has some old frames in it. They're gonna have to spend time. Like there's obviously spider stuff in here. Like they'll clear it out. They'll do their thing. And so I will put a little stick, just because it's in the direct sunlight, and there is a lot of breeze here. So I will find a little stick back here. Don't need much. I'll break it in two, and I will just kind of put it under the lid so that there is a gap. The idea is there's airflow through the hive and out the back, and that gives them a little bit of movement in there to keep it a little bit cooler. So the goal, they have 3 frames of honey up there. Oh yeah, this is a good breeze right now, actually. 3 frames of honey, and then 5 frames empty. The hope is they'll start cleaning that up and filling that stuff out. And the big thing I need to do is figure out how to get them water at this point. So that's the big goal. All right, let's move on. Trying to be quick. Same deal. Oh man, this the screen is so filled with propolis. It's just kind of funny in 2 weeks that they did that. Oh, so there's still some water on here. Interesting. I wonder if they can't get to it. It's not coming out. No, it's definitely coming out. Huh. All right, so they didn't take all the water. That's interesting. Oh, killed a bee accidentally. All right, same deal. If we need it, same deal. They really glued this on. Lots of bees, just packed. So definitely need at least another. So we can take this, give it a tap, try and get these bees off. This over here. Yeah, honestly, it's nice only having a couple hives. Number one, it can go quickly if I'm good about it. Now this looks like they have more honey up here. Guess we'll see. It could be kind of deceptive because they're also, they have brood in the middle. I always got to kind of get a couple of these loose so I can pull one out. Let's see. So what can happen? This is what's happening. So they have built, there's a little gap between the bottom of this frame and the top of the next frame, and they have definitely filled that with wax. And so these are like stuck. So I got to kind of pry this apart first and look, because it means that some of the ones down below. All right, so now I can separate that, and that's good. Now I should be able to pull this out more easily. Still heavy. Okay, being gentle as I can, just in case the queen were under now. Ooh, okay, there's a lot of honey on here, but there's a lot of brood and a ton of drone bees still. So I think this is the hive this queen has been producing a lot of drone. This side, they're doing more honey. It's good. It's funny that every so often drones can almost look like the queen. They have a kind of a darker marker on their back, which is one of the ways to kind of spot the queen. Okay, there's the queen. So I'm gonna put my little hooks on here just to make life easy. So they might be making a little bit more honey than bees right now, this hive. Guess we'll see. There's a lot of honey on here, but also a lot of drones. Yeah, she's just. This queen has made a lot of drones. Like a lot. I have never fully understood if some queens are just more prone to it. Like, for some reason, she believes that she needs a lot of male bees to make, so the queens have bees to mate with. Um, so that's interesting. Okay, this is almost full of honey. So they're doing a better job of the honey thing. Yeah, this one is like, here, this side is totally capped. Like, that side is done. They can't put more honey in there. Pretty cool. This side's almost done. So, in a like I said, in about 2 weeks, Father's Day time frame, if I wanted, I could, between these two hives, take out about 8 frames. That would get me maybe 2 gallons of honey, maybe not quite that. That's just fun. This is completely full, so this one is done and ready. So same deal. What I will do is add a box on, put these up. I think. Again, assuming she's not ready to split. That's the big concern here. Yep, and another one that's done. So this hive is working the honey. And there was a stronger hive to begin with. There were more bees in this hive early on, the nuclei got, than in the other hive. So the other hive is certainly catching up quickly. Ton of bees, but that could be a factor. Could be one of the reasons. This queen maybe is doing a better job at regulating herself. Again, a queen decides how many eggs she lays a day. So she might realize they're out of space, and so she's just going to regulate herself better so they can use it for honey. There's some brood over here. So this one has brood. But again, at this point, I don't see any queen cells. That is really about the only thing I care to find out. And if I can spin honey in a couple weeks. Spin, extract, so you extract it by spinning, obviously. Hopefully that makes sense. Centrifugal force. Yep, this is mostly honey at this point. They're not converting over. A little bit of brood on here. Well, maybe I'm lying. Oh, maybe they're keeping this for brood still. It's hard to tell. Lots and lots of drone. I'll say that over and over again. Yeah, she's made a ton of drone. So we definitely have what? 1, 2, 3 frames of honey. That one had 3 frames of honey. So there's a real chance I could extract a few. And I like doing it. I like inviting people over. It becomes like a family activity. Most people, have never gotten to experience that. Yeah, this one looks like it has lots of. This one's full of honey as well. So, yep, we're going to cap this off. This side is mostly capped or fully capped. This side over here is not, but it will be soon. Really full of honey. So, okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 frames worth of honey here. Yeah, there's so much wax. It's hard to kind of get these settled. Then the bees get annoyed because I kind of jostle them around. Okay, don't get so upset. Man, I touched that one, it got up mad. All right. So I'll try and pull these over just to make just enough room for squirt a little bit of smoke here. These down, back down in. Hard part sometimes is there's so much wax on these. They have built these out with honey and stuff. It does become a challenge. And then squeeze these together a little bit, center them up in the box. Yes, we can. All right. So now let's see what she's doing. I don't know. I think you can see this. They are just all stacked up here. So this is going to be fun to take off. Are they on the front or not? Okay, they're not. So I'll use the front and back holds. Squirt a little bit of smoke in here and get them to go down inside. Now remember, I had to pry this one apart. All right, get away. Go on. And it's already like stuck on it because it's heavy. There's a lot of honey in here. This is very heavy. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's got a lot of honey in there. All right. All right. Put some more wood chips in there. And same deal. Just want to see how they're doing. How much brood they are making. Any chance that they're thinking about splitting, things like that. It's funny, I don't see a lot of drone immediately on. Oh, I'm lying. There's drone. Okay. Totally full drone. Probably not going to see the queen on these frames, but she is totally full. Just beautiful. All right. Quick look. I do not see her. All right, so we'll move on. Notice I always forget to put those on until after I take the frame out. One of these days I'll remember. Let's quickly scan, see if she's on there. So this is mostly hatched. So lots of space for drone. I guess the question becomes, will she keep using this? And here's what I mean. So I've said this before. So basically, the brood has hatched out of here, and most people understand that a bee comb is hexagons. Um, and as she lays eggs and they hatch, these hexagons get just a little smaller each time, just from the residue that's left behind from a bee kind of showing up in there. And so the nurse bees try and clean that up as best they can, but eventually it just gets a little bit too small, and the queen knows it, so she just won't lay eggs in there anymore. Then you can either try and clean it off and they'll just rebuild the comb, or I'll often switch them out to the sides, hoping they'll use those for like resource. They're making honey or storing pollen and stuff. So I'll keep watch on it. Next time I look, I'll see if the couple middle frames of this box have new brood. If not, it might mean that it's just getting too narrow and she's not going to use it anymore. So I'll have to make a choice. Switch it out, do something. All right, more brood. So there's lots of brood. No surprise. I realize I'm not paying attention very well this time for the queen. I'm not really scanning, but mostly because I know she's here. She's just laying, there's lots of eggs in here. Like, she's doing a great job. Oh, I have a bee crawling on my finger, and it's always just a weird feeling. If you move wrong, you get stung really easily, and of course I don't like getting stung. All right. Yep, lots and lots of bees. Lots of brood getting made. No queen on here. Sorry, I just got inside my head. I was just looking. I've seen the queen, but there's honey. So here's what's good. I mean, these hives at the moment are very healthy. Lots of bees, lots and lots of brood. The queens on both hives are doing a really good job. Like I have nothing to complain about. I'm very happy. I also don't want to squish too many bees here. And there's no queen cells in either hive. And honestly, with how full they are and just how warm it's gotten recently, I really expected that there would be queen cells. Um, so I'm just overall happy. It's like a you learn as a beekeeper, as with some other things in life, nothing's a sure thing. And, oh, I could be lying. There's remnants. Excuse me. Well, they were making a queen in this hive, but the queen cell appears to have been torn apart. So interesting. Now I wish I would have been paying better attention for the queen. Um, okay, let me see. Let me just make sure she is. This is a really full frame, so I just don't imagine she's on here. I will show you the remnants of this queen cell. It's interesting. It's the only one I've seen. Are you on here? Please don't be on here. Okay. So there's a ton of bees on here. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to really focus on this, but this right here is the remnants of a queen cell. And inside of it, there's just like white gel that was a queen egg that they were thinking about feeding. But for some reason, they tore this thing apart instead. So I can tell they're kind of tearing it down. And since there's only one, and they're tearing it apart, my guess is maybe a false signal. I don't know. So it's something to keep a watch on. Hopefully by adding a box, allowing them some more space for honey and brood, will ultimately be okay. If she is going to split, I would rather catch that, try and split them myself into another box. This is all honey. This is very heavy. So these are deep frames and they're full of honey. They are, they can, man, this thing can probably be close to, I would say 10 pounds, maybe 8 pounds. I think it's a lot of weight. All right, so that is our first signal that maybe they were thinking about a queen. I can't answer why they didn't finish and why they're tearing it apart. Could be the queen decided she was wrong. Yes, they're getting a little bit ornery. They're flying at my hands right now. They're sticking around me a little bit more than they were. Let's see if we can get some smoke going here. So yeah, this is the first sign. So I am going to go down once I can get some smoke going again. I'm going to go down to the last box just to check. Hopefully nothing. Yeah, hopefully nothing, and she'll be happy with a little bit more. Now, again, this is just going to be hard because they're just totally in the open. I know that. Like, I recognize it's just going to make life challenging to keep them happy. But let's see what we can do here. So let's get some smoke going. Let's see if I can keep them from flying in my hand so much. I've noticed that this hive, like, often will fly towards my hands when I reach for these frames. I don't always have that happen. There does seem to be, some instinct of some hives more than others. So there's not a lot of space up here. They're not. So where frames come together, like there's an intentional like bulge at the top to keep the spacing, and they put lots and lots of wax in those crevices. It just makes it a pain in the butt to kind of get back together. If I had time, I would scrape them off, but again, it's hot. They're hot. I'm hot. So, right, so put this on top of the other box back here. This one is very heavy as well. As I said earlier, there's so many bees coming out here. This is so crazy. So I can see why they would want to create a queen. I mean, these boxes are just packed, and now they're going to be flying in and out of the front because I'm forcing them down. I see brood. So I'm just going to check the middle couple. I see brood. Brood frames are where they would make queen cells. And if they're planning the queen, they generally go on the bottom of the cell, of the frame. And so they just kind of hang right off the bottom. You can see them really quickly, and you kind of know what's going on. So first frame out, I don't see queen cell. So I'm happy with that. I'm quickly scanning for the queen. I can tell this, this hive has not split. There's just way too many bees in here. So the queen is here somewhere. And at least at this exact moment, I don't see evidence that they're going to split in the next week or so. So I'm going to set that to the side. So I can't answer what the other one was about. Second frame, lots of brood. And again, I don't see evidence of a queen cell. I'm not really caring if I see the queen, but I wouldn't be upset if I did. I think I've seen the queen here each time that we've been out. Right. Get this one off. Okay, same deal. I see extra comb that they've built on the bottom of some of these frames, but it's not queen cells. And so I'm cool with that. Let's see the queen. Lots of brood. Oh my goodness. Seriously, people. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could try and create more space and put another deep box on here. I think she would just keep, both of these queens would just keep laying and creating. Oh, there's a drone that must be newly hatched. It's kind of white. So it just has come out of its cell. Yeah, these bees are getting pretty ornery at this point. They're probably really ticked off because of the heat and the sun. This is kind of one last frame. This one's pretty empty. Oh, but there's lots of brood on here. So she's made some brood on here. Sometimes those are the frames I'll find her on, or often. Like where there's new brood, she's still trying to find if there's any empty spaces. Lay an egg. Gently flip this around. But I think I'm done. I'm going to work towards putting these back together. And I've answered the main question. At the moment, they're not planning to split. Now, if I check these every 2 weeks, they can create a queen starting today, and they could have a queen ready to, like when I check in 2 weeks, if I were to wait 2 weeks, the queen would be nearly done. I think it's 21 days for a queen cell. So by the time if they choose an egg right now, they would be, there'd be a very clear queen cell. And, I would have very little time. Quite honestly, at that point, the queen is probably just about ready to leave if she hasn't already. So it might be one of the things that I will try and come in each weekend briefly just to look at some of these frames to see if there's evidence of a queen cell, see how the honey's doing, things like that. So, but overall, that's the deal. So what I'm going to do now is, I'll put the other big box right on top of this, not making any changes there. And then I will, and they're pretty annoyed right now. And then I'll put the other box I have on the very top. Oh my goodness, that one is heavy. So I didn't see the queen. Again, I was being a little bit lackadaisical there. I think partially because I'm just hot. And I'm mostly doing the smoke right now, so they go down. So I can put this back on. This one is so heavy. That little box. This is a good 30 plus pounds. Oops, there are a whole bunch of bees in there. There, that's it. So, yeah, no one likes to be hot, including bees. I get ornery. Okay, so let me grab one of these boxes back here. What I'm going to do, yeah, I think I'll try this one. Does that seem good? Yeah, this also has a couple frames that are new. They don't have any comb on them. So the hope is that they'll draw the comb out. Yeah, that's the hope. They'll draw the comb out. So I'll put these in the brood box, hoping because they need space that they'll draw the comb out in those. So we're going to take the honey frames that are in here, one at a time. Lots and lots of honey. So there's a little bit of brood left on here, but otherwise, oh no, that one has a lot of brood. That has all the, what was I saying? All of the drone on it. Take this one out. One side is fully capped. One side is not. All right, so I may have to compromise here. All my bees have done this, and it gets me really frustrated. Like on some of these frames, there's a lot of honey being made, but they use the bottom for. I'm gonna leave that in for drone. It's just annoying. All right, honey. Honey. What's in there? Pull this last one out. You ladies are just getting really annoying. It's funny. I don't know if it's because my tool is orange. I've noticed that some of these hives really love to go after the tool. And when I stick it into the down in, it's just funny to me. So this has some old honey in it and is actually really sticking up. So I'm just going to kind of pull this down. They'll eat the honey out. They'll love that. Hopefully they'll rebuild it. Not quite as up in there as it were, kind of puffing out. All right. And so now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pull these over. And I'm going to put this other empty frame right in the middle of these last two over here, and hope that they begin to build these out. See what happens. All right. Well, that's the bees. I'm listening to The Martian. My family is a big fan of Project Hail Mary, and I had seen The Martian but never listened to it. So I love his little log. So I should say, like, bee date, whatever. It is May 31st, and see what happens. All right. Think good. Oh, they are upset at my hands for some reason. I didn't do anything to hurt you. I'm helping you. Don't you know help when you see it? All right, telescoping lid on top. Oh, something has happened here. Okay, so this box is one that my father made for me, who is awesome. This is his first attempt, and it's just slightly longer than a normal box. And so if I'm not careful and space them correctly, they kind of fall down in. So I've got to make sure that I just pull them so they don't fall. All right, see what happens. Here's my telescoping lid. I'll do the same thing. Put a little stick under here. Um, put the metal lid on top. And like I said, the only thing I have to figure out now really is water source of some sort. So that's interesting. Where did my other blue hook go? Did I totally not realize and not take the hook? Oh, it's up front there. Okay. So that is the bees on May 31st. We're getting closer and closer, maybe, to some honey. That's exciting. Check in a little bit. Ooh, yeah, it's hot here today. Oh my, oh my. Now this has honey on it. A bunch of bees right there. Okay. Yeah, they're upset at me. They're really upset at me. They're really, really upset at me. So to come turn off that camera, I've got to figure out how to get this back on without getting a bee in my hood. I think I've done it. This could be surprising. Over and out. How do I stop this?